Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey tea sippers, I hope you guys are doing good today. So I am back in my regular location, so back to our regularly scheduled program, okay? I've been turning up like nobody's business, but now we got to talk about some things. So a lot of people were hitting me up while I was in the ATL, wanting me to talk about the whole Tyler Perry lawsuit, the Fat Joe lawsuit, and a bunch of other stuff. But the Wi-Fi, honey, was literally working in 180p, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to be on camera looking like I'm recording off of a toaster. So I was like, you know what? Let me just finish enjoying my vacation, and when I get back home to the Twin Cities, I will then spill the tea, okay? So it is a lot going down. If you guys do not know, Tyler Perry was sued about 6 days ago for $260 million. Like they say, go big, honey, or go home, okay? So the lawsuits are definitely lawsuiting, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and watch a video where they're talking about the lawsuit and the man filing it. He was, on the Oval and then abruptly, just let go, honey. So let's go ahead and check out this video really quick.
Actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry sued for $260 million over sexual harassment allegations. The complaint filed in Los Angeles accuses Perry of creating a, quote, coercive, sexually exploitative dynamic with actor Derek Dixon. Dixon was in two of Tyler Perry's shows, The Oval and Ruthless. In a statement to NBC News, Perry's team says this appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam, calling the allegations fabricated claims. Let's bring in NBC's Stephen Romo, who's following this. Stephen, what more do we know about the allegations here?
Yeah, Tom, just going through those allegations in this lawsuit seeking $260 million in damages, alleging sexual harassment, assault, retaliation as well. The direct details include inappropriate touching. As you mentioned, Dixon starred in The Oval with Tyler Perry, and we got this statement from inside the complaint. Tyler Perry has been using his power and influence to molest, abuse, and sexually assault impressionable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship while pursuing their dreams. So you can read from that, implies there are more people who are alleging this than just Dixon. We have a bit of a timeline here for the relationship that we know, the professional relationship between these two men and the allegations made in this complaint, saying that they met in 2019. The lawsuit alleges that then their relationship moved forward with this professional advancement. And in 2019, Perry offering Dixon a small role in Ruthless. And then in January 2020, that is when Dixon accuses Perry of sexually assaulting him in his home. And in the following month, Dixon alleges that Perry offered him a series regular role in The Oval. Now, we do have comment from Tyler Perry's attorneys saying that this individual appears to have been setting Tyler Perry up. They say that they are alleging that this is a scam and saying, quote, Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail. Now, we've also reached out to the attorney for Dixon, and he said that these allegations in the lawsuit stand for themselves. So just the very beginning of this process, but a lot of people are paying attention to this. Tyler Perry, quite successful, quite a bit of fame here, Tom.
Yeah, it will get a lot of attention. Stephen Romo, thank you.
All right, so you guys just saw that. Now, a lot of people, including Don Lemon and others, are saying that this is a shakedown. Tyler Perry has done a lot for the Black community, which he has. But it's very interesting that a lot of people are shocked because this man, Derek Dixon, is basically saying, he's basically outing Tyler Perry as being gay. Now, the gay rumors about Tyler Perry have been around for years. If you guys remember, one of the OGs of YouTube back in the day, Walter Hampton II, he's been keeping his damn size 11s on Tyler Perry's neck for years. Him and Tyler Perry were really good friends. And I remember being back on YouTube back in the day. This was like in 2010. He came out and he was blasting Tyler Perry for not being a good friend, for turning his back on the LGBT community, and also stated that he stole the whole Medea thing from a drag queen that was really popular in ATL. Everybody in ATL knows this tea. I've heard about this tea from other people outside of Walter Hampton because I spent a lot of time in ATL. So they're saying that the Medea character that Tyler Perry that Tyler Perry was playing was not original. He stole it from somebody else. And so shortly after Walter had blasted him, he ended up getting jumped. He claimed that it wasn't, Tyler Perry's goons who jumped him, but child, I don't believe it. But I'm going to go ahead. We're going to watch this old school video of Walter Hampton basically talking about Tyler Perry.
Money. Well, let's face it. The man has become extraordinarily wealthy off these plays. He's made a lot of money. But I have a problem with Tyler. Tyler, once he got his wealth and money and fame, I don't like the way Tyler turned his back on the black gay community. He went from being a loud member of the community out in the club at tracks, videotaping Sophia's comedy show on Monday nights where he stole all his material.
Yes, Sophia was the drag queen that everybody talks about in ATL. That is who he stole the whole Madea getup from.
All right, continuing our conversation on Tyler Perry, this commenter is 100% correct. Tyler Perry got a lot of his inspiration from Madea from a drag queen. This is Miss Sophia, and if you're from Atlanta or the South like I am, you might be familiar with her. I've been to several events and pageants that Miss Sophia has hosted. Now, there's a whole YouTube video that you can look up where Miss Sophia explains her story, but I'm going to give you guys a lot of the most important pieces. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Tyler Perry used to frequent her Monday night shows that she hosted, and he would sit in the back, and he didn't want anybody to video or photograph him, and Miss Sophia realized it's because he came there to take material.
Tyler Perry used to come to the show all the time, sit in the back. And once I had a time just sit back and think about it, the reason that he didn't want us to take pictures and to video him while he was there was because he saw the bigger picture.
Right.
He coming to the show, he gonna steal all my shit, he gonna go and put on this wig, and he's gonna become Miss Sophia himself and call his Miss Sophia Madea.
Now, if you've never seen Miss Sophia in person, she is hilarious, and you can see a lot of her in Madea. And if you're saying, like, men have been doing this for years, why is this a problem? I'm going to show you what she said.
So then it's just like Miss Sophia, the color purple. I do all my color purple stuff. Then Tyler Perry, when you see Tyler Perry, he doing color purple. Then everybody's like, he ain't stealing your stuff. Men been dressing up in wigs for years. You ain't the first one to dress up in no wig. Right. No, I'm not. Flip Wilson was doing it. Yeah. That's why I wanted to do it, because I saw Flip Wilson doing it. Then I see Eddie Murphy doing it. I see everybody doing it. Martin Lawrence doing it. Jamie Foxx doing it. Robin Williams doing it. But the difference is, a lot of men that dress up in wigs, they are not saying the same exact lines that I say at my gay club that Miss Tyler Perry has been coming to lifting these lines.
And now you might be asking, what lines did Tyler Perry steal? Get into it.
Tyler Perry would always come up and tell me, you crazy, you stupid, and I'm gonna put such you said in the show. So I'm just letting you know now, I'm gonna write such, and I'm gonna put that in the show. And one of my most famous lines that I said at the club one night, and he came and he told me that he was gonna put it in the show, was my FUBU line. When I went up to somebody and I said, ooh, baby, you giving me FUBU, and they're like, what? No, that's not FUBU. Yeah, you are fat, ugly, big, and uncomfortable. So he took that line and he put it in one of his plays. Sitting up there with a homemade FUBU shirt on. You know what that FUBU stands for? You fat, ugly, black, and uncomfortable.
To distancing himself from black gay men, as if telling people he was not gay, which is fine. Go ahead and tell, which I knew was a lie. But to distance yourself from the black gay community and not come back and support the people who got you started, to take your money and success and run away from the black gay community and forget that these men even existed who got you started in this. I just don't understand how so many of us are able to walk away from supporting our communities. Is Tyler still gay? What do you think? I don't think his sexuality has changed at all. I know he's still gay. But to not support the black gay community, there were things that Tyler could have done that would have been extraordinary to help the black gay cause. He knew that there were tons of stuff that he could have done. But he took his millions of dollars and beat it. And got on about his business. And that is essentially my problem with Tyler. And see, some people may not understand that. And so I feel like if I had got millions of dollars, if Walter Hampton had got millions of dollars, I would have put some money back into the black gay community because these guys need love, support, and understanding. He had an opportunity to make a difference and make a change, to do something extraordinary for the black gay community, for which he was a part of and still quietly is a part of today. But to run away and do nothing, I just really have a problem with that. I really do. And I think that has I've seen all his movies. To be honest, I think some of the movies are good, some of them not so good. I'm not really a huge Tyler Perry fan because of the negativity I have towards what he did to the black gay community. So a lot of black gay guys are ashamed of who they are. They're embarrassed about being black and gay. They're not going to do no YouTube video and sit up here like I'm doing, saying they're black and gay. And it just irritates me to no end. What Tyler Perry did was wrong. It was wrong. And Tyler Perry's going to pay a heavy price for the lies and deceit that he did about his sexuality.
Objection. Whew. Let me come back on the screen, honey. Did he play some type of curse on Tyler? Because that was 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And now Tyler Perry's sexuality is being exposed by the mainstream media via this lawsuit via a white man, okay? But before Walter Hampton, Walter Hampton was the first to blast Tyler Perry because they were actually friends. Now, what was very interesting is about a year ago, I talked about a man named Christian Keys. Very handsome, been doing his thing in Hollywood, and he came out and he was blasting a so-called producer and didn't want to say the person's name, but a lot of people, a lot of whispers that Christian Keys was talking about Tyler Perry, okay? So I'm going to play you guys the Christian Keys clip to remind y'all what was said. Walter Hampton comes back and basically confirms that it was Tyler Perry. Clock that T. Okay?
I can press play and you can hear the person and you'll know immediately who the person is that's offering me $100,000 to strip.
Damn.
You'll know right away and it'll break your heart. I won't have to say the person's name, but I can and I will. I don't mind doing a polygraph or 3 or 5.
So y'all just heard Christian Keys. So I wasn't expecting that Tyler Perry pop up. But a lot of people were saying that it was Tyler Perry. So Walter Hampton, of course, people ran to his page to, get his cosign to see what he thought. And Walter also said the same thing.
Tyler Perry, about 10 years ago, has just made a video stating that he believes Christian Keys is talking about Tyler Perry. Now, remember, in Walter Lee Hampton's first videos, he is the one that outed Tyler Perry and let everybody know that Madea, allegedly, was stolen from a drag queen that was doing performances back in the day in Atlanta.
Who is he talking about? Everybody just wants to know, who is he talking about? Tyler Perry, y'all. Just cut the bullshit. He's talking about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry.
All right, so he confirmed that it was Tyler Perry. And again, could this be a shakedown? Possibly. But what's also very interesting, if you guys do not know, the Boondocks had an episode that ended up getting banned. And the Boondocks guy that was a part of that episode was talking about it to, Vlad TV. And he was basically talking about why they got it banned and that was about Tyler Perry. And if you watch the banned episode, it very much mirrors what's going on nowadays. So let's go ahead and check that out real quick.
The Boondocks episode titled Pause was removed from television, and evidence points to it was because it upset Tyler Perry. The episode features Winston Jerome, who is a parody of Tyler Perry and his Madea franchise. Winston Jerome presents his works for Christians and how he does all of this for Jesus Christ, but that's just a front. The truth is that he's the leader of a cult, and it's a way for him to indulge in homosexuality, since he's able to cross-dress, surround himself with attractive men, and in some cases kiss them. Rumors circulated that Tyler Perry threatened to sue Aaron McGruder, the creator of the Boondocks, but Tyler Perry has denied this. Rumors from an insider said that Tyler Perry contacted Turner Broadcasting, which owns the Boondocks, and they said Tyler Perry complained loudly about the episode and even threatened to rethink his relationship with the company. After that, the episode had disappeared from broadcasting. The Boondocks episode titled Pause was
The typical Winston Jerome story starts with a beautiful, educated, professional black woman trapped in a troubled marriage with a brown-skinned bald dude from Law & Order.
How can you do this to me? Get out. I'm going to marry this white hussy because you are too virtuous and strong and might make me a better man.
Then, a dude who looks like Shamar Moore shows up as the shirtless, light-skinned gardener who just got out of jail.
Excuse me, may I rake your leaves?
At first, she acts like she doesn't like the light-skinned gardener, but eventually she gets to know him and sees the sensitive side.
Now, I know that to you, I'm just a poor, light-skinned gardener who can't even afford a shirt. But I love me some Jesus, and I love me some you.
Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. I never thought I'd ever be with a man so loving and light-skinned.
And I will always be light-skinned just for you.
Being a good Christian woman, she gives her marriage one last chance because Jesus said so.
I am dark-skinned and bald, so I hate you, and I hate Jesus.
And just when the brown-skinned dude from Law & Order is about to hit her, here comes the shirtless gardener.
Hold it right there, bald.
When I tell you Boondocks, I really miss this show. I really miss Boondocks. So they were just so damn funny. So here's another clip from the episode.
I just sold Ma Dukes Finds Herself a Man as a movie. And guess who's my leading man?
Really? I'm going to be in a movie? Oh.
That's right, Bob. And I only have one request. Look, man, all bullshit aside. Can I please just have some ass?
Damn.
Okay. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you made up this whole cross-dressing Christian cult crap just so you can sleep with men?
Pretty much, yeah.
So originally, the character's name was Tyler Perry.
So this was the guy on Vlad TV that exposed it. So y'all know Boondocks was years ago. I've never seen this episode because it was banned. So to watch this in real time is insane. But this is the guy talking about it on Vlad. This is crazy.
Perry. And he looked exactly like Tyler Perry. And that was the rare moment where Adult Swim was like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like they were being irresponsible though. They said, you can't use Tyler Perry's name. You can't make it look like Tyler Perry. And then, so we found another name, right? It was actually his real name.
Emmett Perry Jr.
It wasn't. So we use Emmett Perry. Okay. I think it was Emmett. Yeah, it was Emmett Perry. So it got under the radar, and then about 2 weeks later, they caught it, right? And that's when they caught us kind of like screaming at us, like, yo, for real, like, no bullshit. Like, you can't do that. Don't try to play no fucking games. Like, you can't. One of the reasons why I think he got really mad is because I think he thought maybe he had a leak or a mole or something, because we were putting things that we actually heard about how he really conducts some of his business, right, in the show. You know, because Gary Anthony Williams had auditioned for one of his films, and he made it to like the second audition. And so Gary was telling us about all of the stuff that he was experiencing, like the prayer circle, how they all were like in this prayer circle. And Gary was talking about how, you know, he was not engaged in the prayer at all. Like he was like looking around, you know, looking at the people in the circle and stuff like that. And he didn't get a call back.
Honey, okay. So y'all just saw the clip. You guys just saw the guy from Vlad TV talking about it. So a lot of these rumors have been persistent for a while. And then let's not forget, Real Life Productions had interviewed Jaguar Wright. And they were asking her, you know, like, what's going on with Hollywood? What's going on with the movies? And Jaguar Wright goes in on Tyler Perry. This was over a year ago before this bombshell lawsuit. So let's check this out as well.
What do you feel happened to Black Hollywood to where it used to be an event to put out a black movie?
Tyler Perry happened to Black Hollywood, and he did it by using stupid, ignorant, so-called Christian to fund all of his very homosexual behavior. He ain't Richard Smallwood. He's a whole cross-dressing weirdo.
And this took place 10 months ago, and you see what she's saying about the behavior. Just like in the Boondocks episode that was supposed to be a joke. Predictive programming is very real. Understand that.
Let's just be honest. It was Black American churches that made Tyler Perry rich. They went to all his plays. Like, Tyler Perry plays started in the churches. And he took all of that money and hustled that money and hustled that money and hustled that money into the television shows. And yet, how many churches does he donate to? Because the only one I've ever seen him donate to was TD Power Bottom's Jake Church.
Ooh.
And they both attended the freak offs, as brethren. Amen. Push the baby out.
So y'all just heard what Jaguar Wright had to say. Now, what's very interesting is that, again, I have another clip of Walter Hampton from 12 years ago saying that why Tyler Perry would not come out the closet is because he does not want to ruin his bag with the black church.
We were sitting at this table, and I just asked Tyler. Tyler made it clear that he said, look, no one can know that I'm gay. And I'm thinking, what? Are you looking around? Did you see all these sissies you hanging around at this table? Nobody can know that you're gay, and you sitting around with all these damn sissies. I said, well, why? Why can people not know that you're gay? And he said, he just told me, he said that if people find out he's gay, he's going to lose the support of the members of the black church members. Now, keep in mind, I had not been to Tyler Perry's plays. I'd only seen him on DVD. So I don't know who was going to see his plays. I assumed that they were just everyday African-American people. I did not know that he had such a huge church following. I'm not a church-going individual. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so I don't know anything about the black America and the black church scene, not like Tyler knew.
So isn't it interesting that what Jaguar Wright was saying about the black church is the same thing that Walter Hampton was saying over 12 years ago concerning Tyler Perry and the black church? I'm not saying that everything that this man said in the lawsuit is, 100% factual. I'm not saying that this man couldn't be just chasing a bag, but I also feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think Tyler Perry put himself in a position to get done this way because he got comfortable. If the Boondocks could make an episode years ago talking about this, and now we're seeing this in lawsuits, we're seeing Christian Keys hinting at this, something very dark and very sinister is going on in Hollywood. So now, speaking of other lawsuits, I want to also hit on the Fat Joe lawsuit as well. It's very interesting that more and more of these celebrities are getting sued. First, the Diddy situation, he's sitting in a federal courtroom right now, and now it's being stated that Fat Joe was sleeping with underage girls, he's a human trafficker, and this is being levied by one of his closest associates, who is suing him in a court of law. So we're going to go ahead and watch this news clip here.
Rapper Fat Joe has been hit with an explosive $20 million lawsuit for allegedly coercing his ex-hype man into thousands of sexual acts. In a graphic 157-page lawsuit, Terrence T.A. Dixon accuses Fat Joe, whose legal name is Joseph Cartagena, of more than a decade of abuse. The details so disturbing that there's a big trigger warning in the red on the first page of that filing. Dixon alleges that in the lawsuit, Cartagena forced him to, quote, humiliating situations, including sex acts, performed under duress and surveillance. Dixon claims he personally witnessed Cartagena engage in sexual relations with girls as young as 15, one of whom Cartagena was allegedly in love with and contemplated leaving his wife for. And
you know what's very scary about this? What's really scary about this situation is the reason why he would force this man to have sex with underage girls too and have sex under duress. It's kind of like what Mossad does. You set up people, you put them in uncompromising, unwilling situations, so that way it buys their silence. The fear buys their silence. Like if I tell on him, I'm also, putting myself out there. I also can get in trouble. So that's why a lot of things like that happen. Well, they'll force people to engage in the same behavior in the event the house of cards starts to fall. And we saw this with the Diddy situation. In the Little Rod lawsuit, he was told to engage in sex acts with different people so that way it could be held over his head as well. So it looks like Fat Joe is taken out of that same Mossad playbook, allegedly. Okay, let's get back to the news coverage.
An attorney for Cartagena says the lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation. NBC's David Romo is on the story for us. And Stephen, Cartagena initially sued Dixon, and now Dixon is suing Cartagena. Both sides are trading allegations here.
Yeah, a lot of allegations here, but the lawsuit filed today has a lot more graphic content, if you will, Tom. Cartagena actually sued Dixon back in April on allegations that, as a former employee, he was trying to extort him for money. Well, Dixon's suit that was filed today is a lot more than just a typical employment dispute. The complaint does accuse Cartagena of underpaying him, but it goes on with many more allegations, claiming Cartagena would bring women to hotel rooms and make Dixon have sex with them in front of him and others. It also alleges that Cartagena would fly underage girls into the U.S. from Europe and that he paid for plastic surgery for one of them, and claimed that the minors were frequently cut off financially and discarded when they became non-compliant. Now, Cartagena's attorney claiming that those claims in this lawsuit are complete fabrications and lies, and saying, quote, "The lawsuit filed by Tyrone Blackburn and Terrence Dixon is a blatant act of retaliation, a desperate attempt to deflect attention from the civil suit we filed first." Of course, referencing that lawsuit originally filed back in April, Tom.
So we have another famous rapper being hit with a RICO charge, and we talked about Sean Diddy Combs' trial earlier in the newscast. He's also, of course, being accused of building a criminal empire here, and several of the people connected to this lawsuit have ties to other big cases, including Diddy's.
Yeah, a lot of the players involved have connections to these cases. Joe Tacopina representing Joe Cartagena, of course, that's Fat Joe. He's also represented a lot of other big clients, including President Donald Trump, A$AP Rocky, and he actually turned down representing Sean Diddy Combs himself. And then we have Tyrone Blackburn there on the right, who is right now representing Dixon, but he is also representing music producer and rapper Lil Rodney in a separate case that is against Diddy. The lawsuit filed by Dixon is a civil RICO case, unlike Diddy's, which of course is a criminal RICO case. But there is a lot of crossover in these allegations here, Tom.
It's kind of head spinning, actually, Stephen. Thanks very much.
All right, so you guys just saw the rest of that news clip. So the whole thing is very, very interesting, what is going on right now in Hollywood. And so I'm thinking about this a little bit deeper, a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more esoterical, as to why all these lawsuits are popping up, why these people are being exposed. And I feel like a lot of it is a lot of these people have tried to rebrand themselves. They use the church. Again, like in the Bible, it says, God will not be mocked. And I feel like, unfortunately, from what a lot of people have been saying, Tyler Perry, went into the black church, made money, knowing he was a gay male, push, cross-dressing and everything. And, now the chickens are coming home to roost. As far as Fat Joe goes, if you guys don't know, Fat Joe has been rebranding lately, calling himself Pastor Joe, and he does a lot of, speaking on the Bible and God and things like that. So if you guys didn't know that, let me show you guys some clips of Fat Joe here. So in this clip of Fat Joe, he has music playing, but this is from December 2023. You can see the date here. But here he calls himself Pastor Joe, God's Message. And he just goes on to talk about, I think this is on Christmas time. So this is the video. I had to fast forward all the, the singing. But this is just some of the stuff that he's preaching in the video.
You're going to see that people were stealing from you that you thought were your family and your brothers and your friends and love you. You got to get rid of them, because once you go through this tough time, I'm going to bless you again. But I need you to receive the blessing.
So here goes some more videos of him on TikTok just talking about God. Like I said, this rebrand's been going on for about 2-3 years.
Try God, because that's the real key. I'm here telling you. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? In real time, try God. With God, you can't lose. And if you're faithful and you show them that you believe that no matter what hard time, somebody gets sick in your family, divorce, this, whatever you name it, you stay loyal to God, he gonna bless you like you never saw before.
And here goes another video here.
And another thing, I never, blame God for anything. I accept the good and the bad. My belief and my faith in God is legendary. And I believe that all our blessings come from God. That's my true belief in my heart. The bottom line is, in life, whatever God throws at you or whatever they throw at you, you got to deal with it. You got to man up.
Okay, so you guys just saw those clips of Fat Joe just talking about God, calling himself Pastor Fat Joe. And the reason why I'm bringing all of this up, it just got me thinking as to like why a lot of this stuff is happening in Hollywood. We seen Diddy do his rebrand, you know, talking about calling him Brother Love, and he's running around with, you know, TD Jakes and trying to make himself look like a good Christian.
Check this out, y'all. 3 years ago, God made my mission and my purpose clear. And my mission and my purpose is to do whatever and play whatever role that I have to play into saving the black race.
And like I said earlier, God will not be mocked. We're even seeing it with the women in Hollywood. Brittany Renner, she converted to Islam over a year ago, only for us to find out now she's, you know, telling everybody she's going to stop shrinking herself. She's going back to doing her. And she only converted to Islam because of Kevin Gates. Same thing with Alexis Sky. You know, she claimed she was, you know, turning her life over to God. She was going to be a good Christian woman, only to find out that she did all of this for a man. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys both of these clips as well. So this is Alexis Sky here. And this article says, maybe if I change my image, then I'll be his wife. Reality star Alexis Sky confesses to making a Christian rebrand for a man, and then he dumped her. Okay? And she was going around preaching the word for so long, even judging others, only to find out she wasn't sincere in her journey.
Maybe if I change my image on Instagram or I change how I am, then I'll be his wife or I'll do this. So it was more so like, okay, Alexis, are you ready for this? But I really wasn't ready, you know? And it's not saying that I wasn't ready to walk with God. It's just I wasn't doing it the right way. I was more so doing it for somebody else. And so it just happened overnight. So next thing you know, I'm on the internet telling the world, like, I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that, I stopped doing that. But this is who Alexis really was, you know? And I was changing myself for somebody else and not for me.
First of all, Allahu Akbar. When I originally joined Instagram July of 2012, I joined for 2 reasons: validation and male attention. And now that I no longer need either of those things, I am developing a new relationship with just social media itself. So my posting has been a bit inconsistent. I've been Muslim for 5 months and I love it here. I haven't had a drink in 6 months. Haven't had sex in 8 months. And I changed my number 4 months ago. So if you went green, now you know why.
Let me go ahead and pull up this clip of Brittany Renner. So here we have Brittany Renner removes her hijab and sets the record straight after Kevin Gates' divorce. Because she's married to Kevin Gates, I believe, for, 52 days. Earlier this month, Brittany Renner confirmed that she and Kevin Gates decided to split up after 52 days of marriage. Brittany Renner takes off her hijab for the first time in over a year since converting to Islam. She says, I wore cornrows under my hijab just so my hair could fit in it.
Never gave a damn, I ain't never gave no food, no.
She says, I'm not interested in shrinking myself to fit in anywhere. Then she goes on to say, I don't have blind loyalty to any person, place, or thing. I also don't need excuses to do what I want to do because I accept whatever comes behind my decisions. It's still alhamdulillah for everything. Hope this helps. Again, what I'm noticing in Hollywood, in influencer spaces, is that a lot of people are, claiming to be walking with God, but still playing with fire. Fat Joe's preaching, Brittany Renner turned Muslim, Alexis Sky turned Christian, only for them to kind of still be doing what they do in the background. And then now recently, what I find very interesting is that TD Jakes and Oprah Winfrey are also addressing Diddy and the freak-offs. Now, y'all know Oprah never addresses anything. So for her to be addressing this, I find this very, very interesting as well. So here's the article here. It says, TD Jakes dismisses rumors of a love affair with Diddy as Oprah denies attending infamous parties. That is insane. Okay? So let's go ahead and watch the video here.
I have never been near a puff party. Never been near. And anybody who knows me knows if there is a party, I'm the first one out.
Right.
I'm the first one out.
I stopped by Puffy's house for 30 minutes to say happy birthday to him during the day at 2 o'clock with staff people. And out of that came a love affair and all kinds of stuff that I have never seen.
You too?
Yes.
Yes, you too.
Yes. Now I'm almost 70 years old. What do I look like? And I am a grandfather. What do I look like at this late date? You know.
All right, so y'all just heard that clip. So I think it's a lot to unpackage here, but I think some of this is cosmic karma, because let's think about it. Hollywood and this whole space was built on secrecy, on power, you know what I'm saying, the haves and the have-nots. You had people like Harvey Weinstein, also taking advantage of people. In order to get this movie role, you had to sleep with him and go to his hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I think a lot of this is cosmic karma playing out in Hollywood. Okay, the empire is falling, and a lot of people are done being silenced. A lot of people don't give a damn about no NDAs, and they are spilling the tea and they are blasting these people. Oh, you think these are good people? You think that they're sincere people? Well, check this out. When you build an empire like Hollywood on shady dealings and secrecy and all types of nonsense, eventually the scales have to balance themselves out. And eventually retribution will be paid to all of those wrongdoers in that industry. I mean, Tyler Perry has a very, very powerful name. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he hasn't done things for the black community, but these rumors have been going around about him for years, taking advantage of his power, of his prestige, and using that to levy it and, almost like a stake over people's heads. He's been accused of exploiting, stereotypes, mistreating writers, rushing production, not paying people, background people and, smaller actors, not paying them their worth. Maybe some of the big actors who have a name, they get paid their worth, but that doesn't always trickle down to some of the smaller, C and D list actors on those sets. Fat Joe, he's also faced backlash for cultural appropriation, for going in on FBA and saying that FBA is a bunch of broke people. So, maybe some of this is his karma as well for him trying to act like Puerto Ricans started hip hop along with black folks and it was 50-50, when a lot of people are saying that no, it was not 50-50. And if that's the case, why are you literally the only Puerto Rican rapper? That's big. You know what I'm saying? So people have been calling out Fat Joe for that type of behavior for a few years now. Like Cat Williams says, we're in the year of exposure and it started in 2024. And if you're mistreating people behind the scenes, behind the camera, understand that energy that you're putting out when you think nobody is watching, it's circling back. And it's not just in the courtrooms like what Diddy's going through, but it's also, people are taking reputational hits. When has Oprah and TD Jakes ever had to address such foolishness? The fact that they're addressing this and saying, hey, we want no parts, we weren't there, we don't know nothing about a Diddy party, that lets you know that people's reputations are being hit, the money's not money, and people are not supporting blindly like they used to support blindly. Now people are, giving side eyes, second guessing, questioning people. And you can tell that Hollywood is feeling that heat because Oprah and TD Jakes are actually speaking out about this. And I think what's even more disturbing is that this is also following, influencers. When Alexis Sky, Black China, and all them came out a year or 2 years ago saying that they were rebranding, they were following Jesus Christ. Here came the long dresses, the natural hair, the fillers getting removed from their faces, all types of things that these women were doing to show that they were giving their life over to God, including Brittany Renner. People praised her for being more humble, more demure, closing herself off to these celebrities, stopping getting ran through and everything else. A lot of people were praising this, but like I told y'all, I'm not praising anything. I want to see the fruits that they bear. Because anybody can say anything. Anybody can rebrand for a few months, a year, but let's sit and watch and see how it really plays out. And for me with Black China, if she really rebranded and she was serious about her faith, she would have nothing to do with baddies. She would not entertain that demonic network. She would not be there at the castings and the auditions. Now we're finding out Alexis Sky and both Brittany Renner, they only switched up because of a man. And now that those relationships have not worked, Alexis Sky is back to twerking and doing her thing on social media that she's always done. Brittany Renner done took off her hijab. So it's just like really unfortunate. And I feel like that's why a lot of this mess is happening, because people keep mocking God. And I don't care what religion you follow. If it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, that is your business. But you can't serve two masters. Either you're going to be in it fully or not. But quit playing with social media. Stop rebranding for a check. Stop rebranding to fix your reputations, knowing that behind the scenes, you're a terrorizer. You're a terror behind the scenes. And it seems like that is what's happening right now in Hollywood. I could be wrong. I could be looking at this too deeply, but I find it very, very interesting that all of these whispers that have been said about Tyler over the years and, many others, it's like everything is coming to the surface. You got Diddy fighting for his life. Tyler Perry in a $260 million lawsuit. Fat Joe not being sued. His closest man saying that he's out here sleeping with minors and getting them BBLs and breast implants. All types of just crazy stuff. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. But I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff. How do y'all feel about all of this Tyler Perry stuff being exposed and tying into things that have been said over the years about him? How do y'all feel about the Fat Joe lawsuit? And then last but not least, how do you guys feel about a lot of these influencers, especially the women, rebranding themselves and acting like they're Christians or that they're following, Islam, only to find out that they only did this for a man and now they're going back to their regular scheduled program. So I look forward to reading y'all's comments down below. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.